when life gets a little too loud, this is personally a place I love to come and reset. Of course, traveling in my 40s looks a lot different than it did when I was traveling in my 20s. Let's see what I've got going on here. I am a lip junkie, so of course I always have my staple of Aquifer whenever I travel, and I'm trying this new remedy. It's like a thick formula also. It's not quite as thick as Aquifer, has a lot of different ingredients, so I'm trying that out. Really like it, have it on now, yay. After 40, we tend to wake up in the middle of the night, can't go back to sleep, so gotta have my sleep helper. I love this Calm and Clarity. These actually saved me last night. Almost didn't bring them, but then last minute grabbed my pimple patches, had this big pimple right here, and this morning it's almost gone. After 40, tinted primer has become so essential. So I'm using my quintessential priming duo in medium, and this is the secret. Whatever you use on your face, you can use underneath your eye area. So once you put on your sunscreen, which is always going to be the last step in your skincare routine, you're going to put on your tinted primer. This is just something I absolutely cannot live without. It helps smooth out imperfections. It helps keep the skin hydrated. It brightens up the skin. It smooths out the skin underneath your under eye so it can help improve the visible signs of wrinkles. And to boot, this one has some sunscreen. So the tinted primer is something that's going to be applied as the first step in your makeup routine. So that's why I'm putting it on after my sunscreen. And here's another secret. Your makeup, if it has sunscreen in it, that should never be your only SPF. So even when you're traveling, you gotta make sure and bring your proper sunscreen. And then the makeup can just be the additional extra added bonus. So here are my 3 essentials when it comes to eyes, especially if you have dark or puffy eyes. You saw I just put on my quintessential priming duo, so I have that primer underneath my eye area, so important. But here are the 3 extra steps. Before you put on your makeup, you gotta use something with caffeine. I mention this all the time. Then you wanna come in with a really good creamy hydrating concealer. Hydrating being the key, but it also needs to be full coverage so that you can really cover up the darkness. And here is a secret. You want to make sure you stay right where the darkness is, and you want to avoid these areas here wherever you have the actual fine lines and wrinkles so that your makeup doesn't actually settle into those. As you can see, I'm patting in my makeup. I'm not pulling or tugging at my skin. I'm literally just patting it in, because the more you pat it in, the more you blend it, the more natural it's gonna look, and the more hydrating ingredients you use, also the more youthful, the more glowy you're gonna look, because whenever your skin dries out, that's when you start to see those more visible wrinkles. And here's the thing, less is more underneath the eye area, right? You saw I stayed away from these areas out here, but I did put the primer out here because it helps smooth those things out. Now the third and final secret step for brightening up your eye area is to use a highlighter, but not just any highlighter. This is my matte beige brow highlighter, and I'm going to put it right underneath that brow bone. You can see I'm not coming down too far. I don't want to make my eyes look puffy. You want to stay right underneath that brow bone, just like that, so it gives your eyes a nice little lift. Now you also want to use something that is matte, very important, because not only is it not going to contribute to the puffiness if you place it in the right spot, but this one is literally going to stay on all day long. So important. Look, and literally a few easy steps, a few easy products that are super easy to travel with, you can really brighten up and lift your eye area in a matter of seconds. So I'm a huge fan of traveling with these eye makeup sticks because I just think that they're so convenient. So I'm gonna show you how I use them on myself. First, I like to use something that it has a little bit of a taupe color, because I think that literally goes with almost everybody's eye color. And because this is matte right here, I'm going to just apply a little bit on top of my eyelids. As you know, those eyelids tend to get a little bit oily, especially as we age. It gets dry here, oily here. So using something with matte is a little hack that I do because it adds a tiny bit of color, but mostly it'll help keep my other eye makeup in place. I don't do this every single day, but when I want a little bit of added shimmer, this is a really soft shimmery color, and you can place it right here on your eyelids. That's just gonna help soften things up a little bit and give you that softer look without being at risk of it making your eyes look puffy. If you want a little bit of contrast, you can use something that is complementary to your eye color. This is brown. It almost has a tiny bit of a reddish color. So when I'm not wearing eyeliner, I like to place a little bit of it right there above the brow bone. And what this does is it actually creates the illusion of giving you a lifted effect. Whenever you go too deep into the crease or too far down, you can actually make your eyes look heavier or darker. And you can just blend it in, just pat it in. That's why I love these sticks, because they're literally just so easy. Last but not least, I would never leave home without my matte beige brow highlighter. Now this is from our line, but the reason that I created it is, as a licensed esthetician, I wanted something that would be gentle on the skin, that would work really well for aging eyes such as myself, and that would actually stay on all day long, because I have a real pet peeve about putting on eye makeup and having to reapply it, or getting in your car and having it just look like a total mess. And I would say hot mess, but in Texas, hot mess just literally means a hot mess. So I love using the matte beige brow highlighter, because when you apply it underneath your brow bone, in literally a few seconds, it's going to brighten and lift up your entire eye area. Cheers. The more you know, the more you glow. Ciao for now.